First up at UFC Nashville, we have Ode Osbourne taking on UFC newcomer Asu Almabaev. Asu Almabaev is 17-2 overall. He is riding a 13-fight win streak into his UFC debut. He's taking on Ode Osbourne, 12-5 overall. 3-2 in his last 5. He's coming off that split decision win over Charles Johnson. This is going to be an interesting fight, and we have our first flip of the card. You see Ode open as a medium-sized favorite, and he's a full-blown underdog. He's a bigger underdog than he was when he was the favorite. Ode's a southpaw striker. He uses range pretty well. He keeps people at the end of his punches. He does have a ton of power. He's got great finishing ability, especially at this weight class of 125 pounds. He has 5 wins in the UFC with takedowns in 3 of them. So he does mix things up. He does work those in. And he used those takedowns to sneak out a close win over Charles Johnson. He's taking on the UFC newcomer Asu Almabaev. This guy's a flashy striker, and then he just transitions right into a dominant grappler. He can control that striking range, and then he can even work in some spinning attacks before shooting big takedowns. He'll control on top. He doesn't really look for submissions, but he does a really nice job grabbing them in scrambles. He's strong, sets a pace, has cardio. Ode is actually a very good fighter. He beat Charles Johnson. Wasn't he your underdog? Was he your lock of the week then, or you picked him or something like that?
I think
that was Durden.
Him.
Yeah, you might have. And you
Durden was my lock of the week versus Charles.
Yeah, so a couple people beating Charles on this card. But anyway, Ode's very good. Even if you go back to that fight where he was knocked out, I think it was Manel Kopp, he was dominating that fight up until the flying knee at the last second. So he's a very, very good fighter. He's got a ton of power. He can wrestle if he wants to, but I think he's going to be completely outmatched here. The line movement makes a ton of sense to me. I get it. I have a half a unit on him. I got it at minus 155 on Asu. I got it at minus 155. Premium members, you saw that before the line sort of took off to the minus 193 it is now. And I think he's going to control the range, then come in, big slam-style takedowns, even if Ode stands back up. Asu does an amazing job of elevating you. He will just pick you clean off the canvas and bring you back down. And there's nothing more demoralizing in a wrestling exchange than just literally not having your feet on the ground. So I think Asu wins this fight. I have that half a unit at minus 155. The line's really starting to take off here. Hopefully, if you're a premium member, you saw that before it went. What do you think, Jakey boy?
Yeah, Ode is one of those guys that I feel like every time I pick one of his fights, I never get the pick correct. I mean, I pick for him and he loses. I pick against him and he wins. And in this fight, I am going to pick against him. You mentioned you have your half unit bet. I have even more than that on Asu in this fight. And we also got him at the minus 150 or whatever the odds were earlier in the week. And it's going to come down to the grappling, just the relentless, nonstop grappling. And it's going to wear down Ode. But Ode's going to have a chance. I mean, he is going to have a shot in this fight because Asu will hang out on the feet. He is a decent striker. What he does a lot, which I do not want him doing in this fight, is all his spinning attacks. He loves the spinning attacks, the spinning back kick to the body, the head kicks, everything like that. That is when you can get caught against a guy as explosive as Ode. So I want that limited. I don't want the spinning stuff. Stay technical, get the takedowns, wear him down, get the finish in the second or the third round. That's how I think it's going to play out. But I like Ode. He is a very well-rounded fighter. This is just a tough matchup because Ode can grapple, he can wrestle, but he can't out-grapple this guy in my mind. And if he even tries to, and even if he is able to kind of withstand the grappling early, he will slow down. And this kid has shown that he will not. So, I like Asu in this matchup a whole bunch. And I just hope that he limits the striking and all the spinning attacks and just kind of sticks to the basics. And we'll see, because this is going to be in front of a live crowd. UFC debut. Hopefully the kid is ready.
I'm with you. I only did that half a unit, but I typically only do half unit money lines. I did a full money line on Rogerio de Lima. That was not as well as I expected that to turn out. Sorry for yelling at you. I apologize. I really let you have it there. So we're on the same side of this pick. You know what's funny? I have a feeling you and I are going to be on the same side of a lot of these. When you and I disagree, there's always somebody in the... They purposely pick against each other so one of them's correct. And now when we agree, somebody will be like, I hate when you guys agree. I want to hear the other side. Can't make them happy.
I would say that 80% of YouTube is negative. Would you agree with that number?
Are you trolling me because that's what I was saying to you yesterday?
That's the number you gave.
Yeah, I think 80% of... I didn't say YouTube. I said the internet. 80% of the internet is negative. $8,600 in DraftKings for Asu. I think that's still solid value because I think he's going to get the takedowns, the control time. Even if he doesn't get a finish, he's got even longer to rack up control points and takedown numbers. Do you like that $8,600? Are you afraid because he's a UFC debut?
Nah, that's probably going to be one of the better values on the card, I have to imagine. I mean, he should be priced at probably $9,100.
I agree with you. There's another one on this card that's just shocking, but we'll talk about that.
What is that? Did you watch my Lock of the Week video yet?
I did.
Lock of the Week video is already live.
Let me ask you something.
Already live.
Yeah, you did put it out early. The editing job you did, you always do a good job with all that shit. The Cleveland audio over the city overlay, you put that together or that was already like that?
I put the audio. I grabbed the clips from just random like B-roll YouTube. But
wow.
I put it together with the audio. That's MGK. You know Machine Gun Kelly.
I didn't know.
You don't know who Machine Gun Kelly is?
I can hear the car alarm going off in your beautiful upscale neighborhood.
I don't know why you always just got to put me down.
It's just, I love it. 1999 super chat from Ricky Chow. Thanks for early videos. We would love an occasional earlier prediction video for upcoming events. Ricky, thank you for the super chat. Here's a little insight. People only care about this week. Meaning, if I put out a video now of all the predictions for the next pay-per-view, full thing that I normally do, all the odds, it would get like no views at all, and it would crush the algorithm. And that's a mistake a lot of people make. They're putting out random, just rushing to get stuff out there to get it out, and they don't do well. We've learned that over the last few years. People only care about this coming Saturday.
It's better be right than first. Correct.
I agree with you. And Jacob is an editing savant. It's actually incredible what he can do. Okay. WeWantPicks.com. Become a premium member. It's only $10 a month. Link your Discord. I mentioned I got Asu Almabaev at -155. If your Discord was linked, you got that alert the very second that I placed that bet. And if you liked it, you grabbed it. If you don't, you put your phone down. Who cares? But if you don't have your Discord linked, and you just sort of check in every couple of days, you've already missed some of that value. WeOwnPicks.com. Click Become a Member. It's freaking $10. What are we even talking about? I think there's fights every single weekend through October. Like, we don't have a break in a long time.
And you're excited for the fight this Saturday night?
Oh, 100%. I would go. If somebody would go with me. I was trying to goad my brother-in-law to go with me to see Nate Diaz. And
well, maybe somebody in the chat who lives in Dallas and wants to go see Nate Diaz and
I love hanging out with strangers.
and on Saturday night, Angel's looking for a date.
Jake Paul.
There's a lot of people in here. I've seen a lot of people. I live in Prosper. I live in Frisco. I live in Dallas.
Somebody said I'm 10 minutes from Prosper. I got to come through and get some of that food. Pretty sure my wife would have.
There you go. Eric right there. Tiff. Said he'd go with you. Let's plan it out.
He lives near Delar. That's nowhere near here.